think that they were going to be able to pull it out, but they did. The only thing that sucked was the story was god-awful and atrocious, and the stylism they chose for the artwork just didn't match with the feel of the game.
And welcome to the PTV podcast. That was Vita Letum. I'm Phoenix, and we also have
Big Tony.
And this week we're going to talk about
whatever we want.
That's right.
Because that's what we do. We talk about whatever we want.
So who wants to start off with something?
Big Tony. Big Tony, you start.
Some big releases this week, and again with more problems. GTA 5's finally getting that stimulus package they were promised like 4 weeks ago.
I think some players already got it, didn't they?
Well, it started today.
Oh, okay.
And they said it would take like 24 hours, so some people have gotten it and some people haven't.
Apparently some people have already spent it all.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
And they wonder why we went into a recession.
I think that's more on government spending, not on public spending.
Economy is economy.
All right.
And these kids are overspending with all their jetpacks and dubstep guns and airplanes that they wreck repeatedly.
If you had unlimited money, wouldn't you spend it on whatever the hell you wanted?
No, I would save it. And put it toward my retirement fund. If I had unlimited money, I would save it and make more.
But if you had unlimited money, why would you need to save it?
Thank you for realizing the joke there. Let's move on to something else.
Okay.
What about the Warner Brothers thing you want to
Oh,
talk
yes.
about?
Our wonderful friends over at WB, they've sponsored with this website called the Humble Bundle. And every week they work with some company and they offer you games. You can pay whatever you want for them, but if you pay above the average, you get 2 extras, and it's generally a good deal. Mm-hmm. This week, it's Warner Brothers teaming up with them, and if you pay $5, you get Scribblenauts Unlimited, Batman Arkham City Game of the Year, Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year, Fear 2, Fear 3, and Lord of the Rings War of the North.
Unfortunately, I have all the games I want from that bundle.
Oh, I'm not done with them yet. See, this is all done for charity. So it goes is you can donate. You can say, well, you can adjust how much each group gets out of the price you pay.
Sure.
And WB, they're supporting this group called We Can Be Heroes. It's some superhero thing for South Africa or some nonsense like that. But let's point out superheroes, DC superheroes. Warner Brothers charity is themselves.
Of course. And you know the biggest problem with charity organizations is the majority of the money, for especially the big charities, they don't actually put any money towards charity or funding cures or anything like that. They do it for more press. That's all they do. It's pretty sad, actually. Not very many companies actually put a lot of money into funds to actually do anything.
Well, it's a tax write-off, too.
Yeah.
Because they're giving away all those games, but at the same time, it's a tax write-off, so they're getting all the money back.
Yep. So it's pretty dumb.
Don't
like WB. Don't like a lot of companies, actually, but what can you do?
Just saying, if we ever do a thing for charity, which we will, because we're nice people.
Sure.
We're
Doctors Without Borders would be the first one that I would say we would go to, or hopefully. I mean, of course, we would do some more research in that, but I really like them.
We would do something. But I can say it will not be Phoenix Charity X, because we're not, money-hungry
Well,
jerks.
of course you wouldn't do that. That's too obvious. You got to do something that, isn't obvious.
Yeah, John, come on. You're starting to sound like an actual good guy now. I thought you were the one bent on taking over the world.
You don't think Phoenix Charity X is obscure enough that no one would get the reference?
I don't think they would. I think you're evil enough to get away with it.
There you go.
Speaking of doing stuff for charities, though, that Extra Life thing that just happened last weekend.
Okay.
Do you know about that?
Yes, I know about that.
Okay. with all the new streaming and stuff that we'll probably be doing in the next year.
Right.
I say we do that next year.
We do something along that line?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We might have to team up with a few people.
Apparently they got DDoSed during the middle of it too.
Yeah, they got hacked a few times, but I don't think they ever lost anything.
No, they didn't. It just really sucks that stuff like that goes around. But I mean, it happens. For every good person, there's at least one bad person.
Well, yeah, but you also got to think too, like, that's a pretty publicized thing that a bunch of people are logging on to this site because all these different teams are raising money for him. Like, yeah, obviously there's going to be some problems there.
I'm reminded of the story of the kid who played World of Warcraft who died, and then they contacted the people who made World of Warcraft, and they held a funeral in there for him, and then the other team came in and, like, danced on his grave.
No, they were, okay. They were having, it was in a PvP server.
Oh, God, that was the first mistake.
So no matter what, in a PvP server, you can always battle other people. You don't have to have their permission. If you see somebody from the Horde or Alliance, you can just kill them.
Right.
And so, yeah, they on public forums and everything, they announced where they were going to have this memorial service. They had a funeral inside the game, and I guess they were Alliance. And this group of Horde members just came in and just killed everybody in the funeral that was there for the funeral. Yeah, that was on, was it The Onion? That was on one of the Onion's, like, top 10 most dickish things to do. Number 1 was that guy from EVE. Did you ever hear about that?
Oh, the guy who...
Oh, yeah.
The guy who made the EVE intergalactic bank.
Yeah.
Took everybody's money.
And ran off.
Ran off, built the biggest ship, put a bounty on his head and said, "Come and get me."
That's
I wonder whatever happened with that. Like,
that's fantastic.
If anybody ever got their money back, or if he was ever beaten.
Mm-hmm. The thing is with EVE is that basically, if you don't get caught before you actually go through with your whole scheme or whatever, it is actually 100% okay. You just can't do anything outside of game to try and trick people. It has to be all in game.
Yeah, no, his business was legit. It was a bank.
Well, the thing is, his business was legit, but it was all in-game.
Yeah.
That's why he was able to get away with it.
Yeah.
So he's able to keep all of that money.
Well, no, the dickish part was that people were coming to his bank, leaving their money, like taking out loans, paying interest on them, all this stuff, and leaving all this stuff at his bank, and he just created this huge enough bank that he got so much money that he closed the bank, took all the money, and used it to build this massive ship.
Going into any bank, it's even right now. You go into a bank. The only reason why you can get your money back is because it's backed by the Federal Reserve, at least in the U.S.
Right.
Up to a certain amount of money. But if the bank fails after $100,000, you are not guaranteed to get that money back.
$250,000
or $250. It's It's $250,000 total. $100,000 per per account open with that bank.
No, it's $250,000 per account.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was $250,000
through the both
person,
NCUA.
$100,000 per account.
No, through both the NCUA and the FDIC, it's $250,000.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. This is Econ 101 with PhoenixTV.
But yeah, that's the big problem. That's why you don't want to go with a banking system that isn't an actual company that's doing it, because that's just, people should have known that shit was sketch.
Well, that list is so funny though. There was a few good ones, but the other good World of Warcraft one, there was apparently a boss that was, I don't know what expansion it was.
Why don't we just link
or whatever,
this for the people? I mean, we're talking about it, but we should link it.
But there was, yeah, I'll have to find it. I've got it somewhere. But anyway, there was a boss that right at the end of the fight, if you didn't almost have him dead, he would hit you with this spell that would basically kill you instantly.
Interesting.
But somebody figured it out that if they hurry and quit out of the game and then came back, they still had it, and then they could go and infect the NPCs of the world.
That's hilarious.
And then, so the NPCs, like the like your retail guys that you buy stuff from and whatever, were dying all over the world because and then WoW took it, like, shut down the servers and went to take it out, but some had infected their pets. And so when the servers came back online, they still had it because the pets had it, because they didn't clear it away from the pets. So then the pandemic still happened, and it was just, and it's funny because looking at
just bodies. I heard about
yeah,
that.
it's just bodies
all
everywhere.
over the place.
Because then you get like all the noobs and stuff in there, all these level 10s and whatnot. That as soon as they talk to one, because the NPCs won't die, but they'll as soon as like you talk to them, then you get infected.
Yep.
And so yeah, it was just like nobody could do anything. They had to completely shut down. Wow.
And some of the higher level players use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
believe it or not,
it was crazy.
Believe it or not, I believe it's the CDC, some United States government company group thing, whatever, contacted Blizzard to ask them what it was to help in case of a pandemic in the actual U.S.
Oh, jeez.
They actually used the data recovered from it for practical use.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, it's actually, but the thing is, computer viruses work very, very similar to an actual virus, so it makes sense. And they've actually said that several times. They actually will use computer viruses and bugs as a way, in terms of research on how to combat pandemics and newer diseases. So it's kind of cool, actually, getting into all that.
This is it's a very educational podcast.
I know, it's boring.
You're so boring, guys. Guys, I don't want to learn right now.